MedBix Webcast is a new kind of healthcare media channel to break the silo mentality and foster interdisciplinary thinking. Our mission is to fill that gap and to create a curiosity through different lenses, tapping the passion that guided the historical figures in medicine and bringing present-day groundbreaking research to the front lines. We interview physicians and leaders in the industry about present-day healthcare challenges on our live programming. Welcome to the MedBix webcast. This is Ramana Anamaraju, the MedBix host of the MedBix webcast. Welcome to you all. Happy holidays. I am in transit. My daughter got married, so I'm in Atlanta and moving around. So I'm going through a transit situation. We had a wonderful wedding, and my daughter is very happy. Thank you all. A lot of best wishes came out from all over the world. Thank you all. So we have a very good, the holidays are coming. I wanted to do something interesting and pay the Indian traditions, particularly Indian medicine, Ayurveda. Veda is like is a Vedas are like books, sacred books in my view. I don't know, so we'll ask the host better because I don't know Sanskrit very well. So they're all written in Sanskrit. All Ayurveda, all Vedas, Rig Veda. There is 4 Vedas, so they're all written in Sanskrit. So they translated into different languages. Maybe some extent we lost some of the meaning of it, but these are all written in Sanskrit. Ayurveda is a 5,000-year-old medicine that is coming from a long history. 5,000 years old, that is Ayurveda. So we're going to talk about our guest who is Western educated. She has a PhD in pharmacology and pharmaceutical sciences. And then she did quite a bit of research and then clinical trials in this country. And then she is also now, qualified to be Ayurvedic practitioner in this country, in the United States. So that's going to be very interesting, comparing all these Western medicines and Ayurveda traditions. It's going to be, is there any conflict? Is there any accordance? We can talk with her. After that, I'm going to pay tribute to another giants of, close to my heart. There's 2 people who comes from my hometown, the place I was born. Extraordinary people. I'm going to introduce them to you. So so be patient a little bit with me. So without a further ado, let me introduce you the Usha Nagavarapu. The last name is as big as mine. Usha Nagavarapu. She is joining from San Jose. I'm in Atlanta, but she is joining from San Jose, California. So welcome Usha.
Thank you, Ramana. Thank you for inviting me to your broadcast. I've known you for a few years now, and this is amazing. What you do is very amazing.
Thank you. A lot of people like you helping me like this. So, but one of the things that Usha, I'm going to call you with the first name because it's easier to call you with your first name. Usha, that you were, you just tell me your background a little bit, your personal, and where were you born? You're from the same state as I am from, but just give me a little bit more details about where were you born and how you grew up and where did you end up in? How did you end up in San Jose?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you are correct. I am born in India, but I grew up in a northern state, which is Uttarakhand or Dehradun. I grew up and I studied there, and then I came to United States in 1990. I did my PhD from Ohio State in pharmacology and neuroscience department. And after that, I came to Stanford and did a postdoctoral training in dermatology. And then I used my pharmacology, dermatology experience and worked in Bay Area in many pharmaceutical companies, spanning from dermatology, oncology, including extensive working with the FDA as well. And then in 2019, I founded Surrasa, which is a skincare company. And prior to that, I was also a founding member of a company called DermDX, Raman Technology company. I think you and I have spoken about that company, where we were trying to diagnose skin cancer non-invasively. So, and then in 2019, no, back in 2017, actually, a sudden loss in my family, I changed my whole outlook of life. And I started to look for meaning of life. And I became interested in herbal and alternative medicine. And Ayurveda became very interesting. And I started to study Ayurveda, and I realized that Ayurveda can help me achieve and maintain wellness holistically without becoming dependent on pharmaceutical drugs. So, a journey from microscopic science to a macroscopic philosophy began. And I feel that Ayurveda brings in that mind body holistic uh,
Yeah,
medicine.
let us get back to that one little bit. That let me put it both of us to next to each other and then talk. So let us talk about Ayurveda a little bit. What is Ayurveda actually? I know from India. I heard a lot about it. My father was doing a little bit about it. I don't know much about it. What is Ayurveda actually?
Yeah. I totally understand you, Ramana, because before I started studying Ayurveda, I also knew very little about Ayurveda, actually. Didn't realize that it's actually a whole natural system of medicine, which, like you said earlier, originated about 5,000 years in India. And there is derived from two Sanskrit words known as Ayur meaning life, and Veda meaning science or knowledge. So Ayurveda literally translates into knowledge of life. So, where we believe that the idea that disease is due to an imbalance or stress in a person's mind, body, and consciousness. And we can think of consciousness here as energy levels. So, Ayurveda encourages certain lifestyle interventions, natural therapies, so that we could regain a balance between that mind, body, and consciousness, and of course, the environment. So Ayurveda is all about ailments, mental, physical, which lead to the imbalance in the energy levels. And we can also talk about what is energy in Ayurveda later. Yeah,
So I think Ayurveda is one of the oldest traditions that is try to attempt the holistic principles. Now every doctor is talking about holistic approach to the medicine, but now Ayurveda was doing that for a long, long time, right?
exactly. So while Western medicine basically focuses on treating the symptoms, right? Ayurveda was already digging into the disorder, looking at the root cause and finding treatments. So the treatment plan for Ayurveda will be more holistic, natural, and also usually is safe, as long as you are following the directions of an Ayurvedic practitioner, right? So it emphasizes on those energies and the critical elements that we are made up in the human body. And it's not just the anatomy that we are looking at, right? But we are also looking at the functionality, the regulations, and other aspects. So it's in a way Ayurveda takes a very unique approach to regulating the physiological functions in the body, right? So that's where it is very different.
The Western medicines did quite a bit of work in a lot of diseases treatments. But the chronic diseases still is not cured. You have to go through the process, and you have to take medications for the rest of your life, for like a diabetes or hypertension or COPD, any one of these diseases. Is there any different approach Ayurveda does to the chronic diseases, that how you approach your side of the story? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Ayurveda basic approach will be working on an internal purification, right? So once you identify the root cause, we look at the internally purifying by methods known as panchakarma, which could also be followed by a diet, a special diet, uh, herbal remedies, massage therapy, yoga, and meditation. So it is looking at a lot of holistic practices to bring that balance that I was talking earlier. So the concept is of like a universal interconnectedness, and we look at the body constitution that is known as prakriti in Ayurveda, and which are based off on life those forces or intrinsic energies. And then these are the primary basis. Then goal will be so that the person can eliminate the toxins. So basically, we are thinking that the body contains toxins. If you're inflamed, for example, there are some toxins in the body. So we want to take those toxins out, remove those impurities, and then reduce the symptoms, and then increase your resistance, improve your immunity, and also reduce the stress and all that is comes with a disorder or a disease, right? And then increase the harmony in your life. So we could use herbs, we can include oils, spices, all of that is included in Ayurvedic treatment.
Usha, that you mentioned a diet. Diet means that how that food is a medicine. In one of the things that is now new mantra every doctor show is talking about. That is been talking about in Ayurveda for a long time. The food is a medicine is always they consider the food as a medicine in Ayurveda, right?
Yes, yes. For Ayurveda, food diet is the very first thing. As if you go to an Ayurvedic practitioner, he will do the diagnostic tests and look at your body constitution, figure out what is the imbalance in the person's body, and then the first thing they ask the person is their diet, right? So we practically, any Ayurvedic practitioner will dissect and tease out what you're eating and what is the root cause of the ailment, and then try to fix the diet to your body's constitution or to your constitution. So it's very personalized, and it the diet has to match the energies of the person, right? So you can improve and the balance can be brought back. So food diet is medicine in Ayurveda. And herbal medicine, I mean, food medicine, it's the core of any herbal medicine probably, but Ayurveda definitely believes in healthy eating, and healthy eating leads to a good lifestyle, and then we can eliminate the toxins from our body.
Is there any special restriction? The Christmas is coming. Americans love to eat a lot of big turkeys and all those things. Is there any restriction in the Ayurveda not to eat meat? It prohibits eating meat.
No, no, no. That's nothing like that. Prohibiting eating meat is, so there is nothing like that to don't eat this. Of course, alcohol and things are sometimes not very highly encouraged in Ayurveda, but Ayurveda basically is about finding your energy levels, and then all the practices have to be done according to your energy level, which basically means according to your constitution, which is where I was talking about the doshas. Doshas are your body constitution. So there are three primary doshas in Ayurveda that we talk about: the vata, the pittas, and the kaphas. The vata, pitta, kapha is basically made of five elements, or the panch mahabhutas that Ayurveda talks about. The five elements, which are earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So a person, suppose, who's vata will have more air and ether. A person who has more pitta will be more fire and water. And the person who's more kapha will have more water and earth. Nobody is one monodoshic. Is nobody is usually anybody. Nobody is monodoshic. We are always a combination of these five elements. Hence, we are a combination of those three intrinsic forces, or vata, pitta, and kapha. So now suppose somebody is more vata, right, has more air, then there is a strict diet regimen for those people, which would depend on again, we go back to tastes. So tastes, or rasa, is very important in Ayurveda. When we are talking about diet, we talk about the six tastes, which are sweet, sour, salty, pungent, bitter, and astringent. So if somebody, like we were talking, is vata, who is more air and ether, we would definitely tell that person to eat a diet which is more of sweet, sour, and salty. So if during Christmas, of course, we're eating more sweet. But if somebody has more of a kapha constitution, it may actually create an imbalance in them. So a little we have to watch out for that. But other than that, there is no restriction in that. But if the restrictions will come based on your body constitution and what disorder the person is going through at that point.
Usha, there is a strange connection between the microbiomes and the Ayurveda. Tell us a little bit about that. Nowadays, the new microbiome research is showing that, for example, you need to do natural birth. The advantage of being a natural birth is that the birth can all give the microbiomes along with it. And then I was playing in India, that I was talking about the town that I'm going to, the place I grew up, that's all the dirt. We used to play around with it. So we increased our immune efficiency there. So, what is the microbiome and Ayurveda? They're talking the same kind of a synergetic kind of things. Can you elaborate on that a little bit about the microbiomes and Ayurveda?
Yes, I just read an article an hour before I came onto the
Mhm.
podcast about how babies, when they're born, they already come with a certain set of microbiome, right? So we are born with the microbiome. And so all these probiotics, prebiotics, are they working? Are they not working? FDA has approved so many. So there was a debate going on, and I was reading this article about it. In Ayurveda, of course, we think about keeping that probiotics that or the microbiome, the healthy microbiome that we are born with, right? And we are in a balanced state when we are born. That is what we call the prakriti, right? Or the state of balance. We are born. And later on, as lifestyle and all the things that we do, we create an imbalance in our life. And that is what we in Ayurveda calls as vikruti, right? And so basically, whether what diet we are eating or what activities we are doing, are we exercising enough, and our own mental stress and all that, which is causes that imbalance or moving away from that balance, and also leads to, especially if the diet is not good, we are now creating an imbalance in our microbiome. And there is a microbiome not only in the gut, right, but also on our skin, in our everywhere. Our body is made of microbiome, and there are different kinds of microbiomes all over our body. And it's very important to keep a healthy diet to maintain a healthy microbiome. So,
We can restore that prakriti. That's what you're saying.
yeah,
The
yeah,
natural system through Ayurveda. You can restore that.
yeah,
Sometimes
exactly.
in Western world it may not be possible. They say, but you can restore with the Ayurveda. Is suggesting you can restore with the process. The mind is as important as in this whole process. Mind is very important. The mental health is important. Now, America and around the world, they are going through a lot of mental health crisis right now. What do you suggest? What is Ayurveda says about the mental health situation? Meditation and all these things is a part of Ayurveda prescription. What do you just give us a little bit about that?
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about that last thing you said about prescription. Like, so when you go to it's very important to understand that when you go to an Ayurvedic practitioner, Ayurvedic treatment regimen will include all the five sensory organs, right? Which is our eyes, our nose, our ears, our mouth, which is the food, and the skin and the mind. So the treatment plan will include all of those five. So, like you said, yoga, meditation, all of that becomes part of the treatment regimen as from an Ayurvedic practitioner. So, somebody walks in with, you said, mental stress, right? And uh, so, what does an Ayurvedic practitioner do after we take all the diagnostics and everything? We would like to keep emphasize on the very first thing is the routine. Right. I think the lack of routine also sometimes causes a huge imbalance in our body. And Ayurveda is all about ritual, all about having a dinacharya, which means a routine.
Interesting.
So having a healthy, functional routine helps, like sleep on time, getting up on time, eating your food to your constitution, and eating at time. So some people may be need to eat regularly. Some people can skip a meal. So we need to figure out what the constitution is, and then make a personalized diet plan. And so an Ayurvedic practitioner would probably emphasize on maintaining a routine uh, for combating stress.
That's you made an excellent point. But remember that a lot of Indian programmers, Indians, particularly your husband is Indian, is a works for Google, and all those people that working in the technology, they have all these their habits are all messed up because they're doing a call center, they're talking with other centers around the world globe. Their kind of habits are messed. They need to be more vigilant to this kind of daily routines. They are the people really need to be watched out for the next. We may have an onslaught of diseases in India because of this process problem. Do you agree with that? It
Yeah,
has to be.
yeah, I agree. And I think even here we have to watch out, because a number of people, including sometimes I have done it, and I still sometimes have that bad practice of sleeping late, working late, not having a good work life balance, not stopping to think about work, right? I'm not saying that I'm working all the time. I may not have a computer with me or anything, but then we have a phone all the time. We're
Yeah.
checking emails all the time. Or even if I go on a walk, I will be worried, oh, I may have get a call. I may have to reply to this email. I may have a text. So this 24/7 work that we are doing sometimes causes a lot of stress, and our thoughts are also always on work. So we are not able to really like make a segregate between work and life, and that creeps into our life. So it's important to teach ourselves. And when I have patients, or when I'm talking to younger generation, I'm trying to emphasize that we need to let go. There has to be a let go. There has to be good exercise regimens, and that exercise also should be to your body constitution. Over exercising is not a very good idea for everybody. It has to be to the person's constitution, and maintaining a routine is very important. And start slow and then get there.
Let me introduce you, coming from the two remarkable individuals who came from that Ayurvedic traditions, and you are going to meet them in online at least. They passed away a long time ago. But let me introduce you. After I come back, I'll ask you about your venture of a Surasa and what you're doing there and all those things. You are going to watch with me along together. We're going to watch together. Okay. So
Sure.
let me put that thing together. Okay, we are together now. So there are the two remarkable individuals. They came from a very same traditions of Indian Ayurveda traditions. I tell you, they changed. They are silent heroes of mine. I'm going to give you a little bit of explanation about them. So they are the silent and forgotten heroes of India, or for the forgotten heroes of medicine. What is the rural India's healthcare in 1950s? How that healthcare used to be. I'm going to give us a little bit of a background on that one. That's my village. I'm from a small village. It's 2,000 population. It is called Palakoderu. It's a coastal village. It's a 10 miles from sea, less than 10 miles, so we can see the breeze of sea breeze all the times. Is a tropical place. And then that's the house we live in. That is a kind of a house that we lived in. And then that is a transportation, that is a wagon. That's my father, that time, my father's beginning of my father's career time. These are the my villages to look like this. These are the things. Exactly, the transportation is a wagon. The Oregon wagons they're going to talk about, that same thing is, it looks like exactly like that. So I tell you about that. So that is my village. That is my the basically in that village there is a there is a agriculture based economy. There's rice is the main agriculture. Is a basically, you see a lot of times, you see that to the calves running, the cows and buffaloes doing the plowing, and then the other one is that the tractors. We used to have a Russian tractors from Russia. It's interesting. We don't At the time we had a problem with the American system, so we imported a lot of Russian tractors. That's all you see in agriculture. Rice is the main agriculture based economy that is. So in that economy, there is a that is a so healthcare is a basically non-existent. There is no hospitals in my village. There is no hospitals there. There is no doctors, as such. As a Western In Western sense, there are no doctors. So it is a basically non-existent healthcare from any Western standard point of view. But there are remarkable individuals. This is how is the life was born. Most of the babies were born through the midwives. Midwives played a very central and critical role in delivering babies in India. That is midwives. Actually, midwives, they're not even trained. Sometimes they're like the mother who is more experienced in that village. She was delivering babies for other ones. I was born at home. All my brothers and sisters were born at home, so we were delivered by midwives, actually. So that is a very common practice. Probably the infant mortality rate and maternal mortality rate is very high, probably. So we are lucked out on that process, probably. So, but that is life was born through in villages, through delivered through midwives. Midwife is the central critical role they played. They're not even a doctors. They know a little bit about that, delivering babies. They're like a mother's experienced mothers sometimes. They're not even trained midwives. So so that then how the deaths come in. You know about life over the deaths. In my village, mostly the deaths come from cobra bites, believe me or not. We used to watch Snake Charmers, a lot of cobra bites. Usha didn't grow up in my side of the village. She is in the northern side of the country, north of India. So but I am from a small village. The cobra bites are very common, actually. I used to see cobra probably every 2 weeks or every month, at least one time. Because Snake Charmers used to come down through that. There's a big show, and we all used to go. But cobras are plenty around there in that village. So there used to be the other one is tetanus is a common thing. One of the people used to die, but very rare. These are the other deaths are rare, which is tetanus is one of the things common with the nails going through the foot. The tetanus is that is a bacterial infection. I think that's people die, and then some of the I saw in my entire life. I saw one committing suicide. One that is they used to take a fertilizer. They take the ending they used to call. That's the one he used to do, and then that's a deaths come through that process in those villages. But what are the diseases are? The life and death, but the diseases are very common, usual suspects. Typhoid, bacterial infections, typhoid is the biggest killer. Malaria is mosquito-borne parasitic disease. And cholera, they used to kill a lot of people. These are all three diseases are very, very common in India. Eosinophilia, there is another tropical diseases. So there is a lot of these bacterial infections, and it's very common. So a lot of people used to die because of that reasons. So very, very common. Sanitation is a problem, nutrition, all those things. So these are the diseases. Then there is a gentleman, his name is Dr. Subbarao. I tell you who he is. He is a remarkable man, and he was a teacher. He was teaching in the, he was teaching in the high school as a his teacher, school teacher. But he's the only person in that village who knows English. So he imported, what he did was he started self-learning the medicine. And then his his relatives did practice in that villages, around the cluster of villages. They were practicing, so he used to go there and learn those medical practices. So he was a self-taught, unbelievably curious man. And let me tell you, he's my father. I miss him, and he's the greatest man. He's a unbounded curiosity he has for the love of medicine he has. He used to take a bicycle, go around, and then treat people. That's what he used to do. Then, he was, that my mother used to buy a lot of books, medical journals, and medical, even medicines from his teacher's salary. And my mother, on the right side, you saw my mother. She used to complain all the times. Why you're spending so much money? You don't get paid. All the no reimbursements, nothing. So my mother was, always had a constant battle with my father. But my father was a dedicated doctor. Is a true meaning of physician without qualifications. I tell you, he learned the hard way. He was a non-stop. I never seen him my entire high school. I never seen him without a book on his hand, medical book. He was that curious. So he learned quite a bit. He was a brilliant man. That's why all my four brothers became a very highly educated. So healthcare in rural villages are to go to the village homes and then deliver, give them see the patients in their homes through bicycle doctors. They used to call bicycle doctors. So in that village, basically in the point of care system, that is, healthcare delivery system is all done same place. You diagnose is there, you give the medications, and then you prognosis. You do all those things at the same time. There's a there is no pharmacy going there, and you go to a diagnostic machine and all these. You need to go to MRI. Those are all not there. So simple doctor is basically he was diagnosing, he is treating, giving him medications, and prognosis in determining the prognosis of that patient. It is all done in point of care system. It's all really well defined point of care system. So that's my father. So, but how do they get paid? A lot of doctors ask me how the rural doctors in India gets paid. I tell you, got paid at least in those areas, those times. They were, we are not supposed to. We are vegetarians, so like in the United States, I heard in 1930s and 20s they used to drop off chicken and eggs. Same thing, they don't, because we don't eat meat, so they used to drop a lot of vegetables for us. Then they twice a year we used to do a puja. It's called a puja, which is a religious ceremony like Christmas time. Two ceremonies we do after the crop period, and then all the farmers come and give us the money, give us a cash, sometimes give us some gold and silver. These are things that's they used to donate to the doctors. That is a reimbursement. The concierge medicine, origins of concierge medicine came from 5,000 years ago. It's not a new thing for us. The concierge medicine is already established in India in the long time ago. That was the system there. So after that, so my father and mother, my father is really died in, but he was a truly a teacher, doctor, and extraordinary. He served the people in that village. He took care of the people. My father's name is Dr. Anamraj Subrao. Last name is mine, Anamraju, and that's my mother. Both are dedicated. Eventually, my mother really admired my father's dedication to the medicine. Is really that was a fantastic determination. So I'm blessed to have those parents. I miss both of them. They passed away, both of them. But there is another Dr. Subbarao from same village, same cluster of villages, same area, not too far from there, not not too far from there. Not Usha, don't move too much. Too much is big noises. So, so is from not that there is another Dr. Subbarao. I tell you what is it that I'm going to talk about him a little bit. The story of another Dr. Subbarao I'm going to talk about is unknown famous man. You know, he is. I tell you what, you will be shocked what he did. He's the first chemotherapy drug. He invented the first chemotherapy drug, targeted drug. He invented it. He discovered first broad spectrum antibiotics. He's the first. Most of the doctors don't even know who that person is. First broad spectrum antibiotic. First strip test. He invented it. First topical drug. And then World Health Organization, his medicines are even carried today after 100 years carried his medicines, is a World Health Organization essential list. Do you know his name? No, a lot of people don't know it. That's why I call him unknown famous man. His name is Dr. Yallapragada Subbarao. Same, he is from the same town as mine, same name as my father. We are all in the same community. We went to the same temple, but he is a way before, even though he is wearing a tie. Remember that he came long before my father. Actually, my father graduation, he already died. This gentleman died already. So I tell you, he's born in 1812. So his name is Dr. He was born in 1812 in a small village, small town. That's my town, my village, my town and village, cluster of villages around there. It's called Somaramam. Somaramam is a Bhimavaram. Bhimavaram is a name of the town. It is one of the sacred places for the Lord Shiva's houses, five houses, Somaram, Pancharamam. So one of the houses of the Lord Shiva is my hometown. That is, he is born in that place. I was born in the same town. My father was not born there, but he grew up there. That I was born in the same town as he is. So he was born in Bhimavaram. I want to tell you this. So he was failed high school twice and got married at the age of 15. Dr. Yalla Pragada was married, failed twice the high school, and then he got married at the age of 15. He wanted to do all kinds of things. He wanted to do business. He wanted to do some trading of rice and beans. He wanted to sell. So his father-in-law got worried about his daughter, and said that I'm not worried about it. This guy is going to take care of my daughter or not. So I wanted to send him to medical school. So he sent him. So he sent him to the medical school to Chennai, India. Chennai is Madras, India. That they used to be called Madras. So he sent him all the way to Madras. At the time, we were under the British rule. Queen Elizabeth is in the prime age, at the prime age, Queen Elizabeth. So he studied medicine in in twice he failed, because also he was dedicated, because he wanted to do very well, because both of his brothers died with the tropical diseases. So he wanted to understand the diseases more. So he really worked hard, and he excelled in the medical school. He really excelled in the medical school. The guy who failed twice in high school excelled in medical school. So don't underestimate anybody. You don't know when they get that passion comes out. So he was in the medical school. Then after finishing medical school, he started teaching like a Usha. He was teaching in Ayurveda College of Madras, Adayar, in Madras in itself. He was teaching. He was teaching Ayurveda uh, school, but he was not English medicine. He was trained in English medicine, but he can teach anatomy and pharmacology, all those things. He was teaching some of the medical, Western medicine. Probably he was exposed to Ayurveda because he grew up in that area. In that, yeah, those are the times when he grew up. That's the only medicine we had. So he understood the Ayurveda. So he was teaching in Ayurveda college, Ayurveda. Then his luck turned out to be very different, and his luck took him to different places. He applied for 1923, exactly 100 years ago. He applied for Harvard Medical School. People at that time used to go to England, but he preferred to go to Harvard and apply directly. He's a daring guy. He came from that daringness. He applied for Harvard Medical School. He was admitted in the medical school, in the Harvard Medical School. He came and joined in the 1923. Probably one of the, you can count Indians who were in the medical doctors at the time, you know, who came to medical school. 1885, I did a Dr. Joshi came in 1895. There's another lady came in, Dr. Joshi, studied in the University of Pennsylvania, but very, very few. You can count with the numbers with the fingers. He is one of the people graduated from, he got a PhD in biochemistry and a tropical medicine degree, and he was teaching. He became a faculty member in the Harvard. He's a brilliant. He became a really good. So, but at that time, still, the United States is evolving. A lot of discrimination. He's a Southern Indian, South Indian. He's a brown looking, and then they denied him tenure. He'd been working there for a while. They denied him tenure. All his friends were given up promotions, And then stolen papers they stole. These are all documented facts. These are not, no, I'm not making it up. These are the documented facts from the Harvard Medical School itself admitted that this kind of things happened to him, Dr. Yellaprakada Subbarao. So he left, and he left the Harvard and joined in the small boutique pharmaceutical company. It's called Lederly Labs in Pearl River, New York. Became a director for the. He was already well known because he has a lot of several publications. He's already well known. Excuse me, I need to get some little bit. I'm going through a little bit of a. So, is so he went to the he went to literally Pearl River, New York, like 1 hour away from I think very short distance from New York City. He moved there. That's where he excelled much more. What he did was, let me show you invention after invention. He threw up invention after invention. I tell you which one. The first one, the phosphate strip color test. He introduced the first. He already was doing that work in Harvard. So they stole the papers and they were hiding it. People with alcoholism and diabetes, calcium is the biggest mineral, but the second one is the phosphorus. People don't know the second mineral, the composition in the body is the phosphorus. Alcoholics and diabetes people don't, if a deficiency of the phosphorus. So, or that he invented the strip test. That's the first one. That's what he did. That is the next one. That heterogen tablets he discovered. He formulated heterogen, the tablets, which is a tropical diseases. He saved millions of people, lots of people with the tropical diseases. Heterogen tablets are very popular in my area, in the villages in the I grew up. My father used to prescribe a lot of people heterogen tablets. He discovered that. He discovered that drug. It even now it's not river blindness that cures the river blindness. Now they are testing even in Zika virus and influenza virus and all the coronavirus. Even they were testing all this the treatment for that heterogen tablets. Or so he invented that. Now that is a part of the World Health Organization essential drugs. In fact, the the next invention, mother of all the big inventions, came out. Mother of all his inventions is the 1940s. There is the leukemia childhood, the childhood blood cancer, childhood leukemia is the biggest prevalent cancer among children. So it is not you cannot do radiation. They used to do therapy, that radium used to put on the, if there is a problem there, if there is surgically you cannot remove. But in the blood cancer, how can you do that? They are not target, they're diffused across the body. So so they need to have a targeted drug. He worked with a Sidney Farber, and then another gentleman, pathologist, a pediatric pathologist. He did first. He invented the folic acid that they used to call him a voice of the folic acid during those times. So folic analog to the folic acid became the methotrexate. That is even a go-to drug right to even today. It cures not only childhood cancers. It has now is they use for breast cancer. They use for head neck cancer. It is a multiple uses they found out for the methotrexate. He invented it. He is the one inventor of the methotrexate. Nobody knows. That is the first targeted drug. First ever targeted drug was invented by Dr. Yellaprakada Subbarao. Then after that, that is the mother of all invention. That is not enough. Then he was doing first broad spectrum antibiotic clinical trials he's working on. So he found some antibiotic drug. So first broad spectrum antibiotic that already the penicillin came in, but he wanted to find out the first broad spectrum antibiotic. He found one from the Missouri fields. He got some herbal things and something. He got it from the grass, I think. I don't know much about it, so you can give me that information if you know. But very interesting story behind it. He hired Dr. Ella Pragada was in charge of the lab, Ladderley Labs. He became already famous. So he hired a guy from a, nobody wants to hire him. He's from the south, Benjamin the God. He's from a is a southern plantation owner's son. Son of the plantation owner's son is a son of the plantation owner from Talladega, Alabama. So those people are very discriminated during the time. People from the north did not like the people from the south. But Dr. Salah Pragada himself is southern Indian. He hired a Benjamin the God, a son of a slave owner, actually. Then what they were doing this. Think about this combination. This is mind-boggling, to be honest with you. It's a very, very lesson for all of us how the people can work. They don't. Nobody wants to give them Pfizer, or no other bigger companies don't want to touch them because they're foreigners and they're Southerners, and nobody wants to give them a clinical trials. So they went to Harlem Hospital, African American hospital. They went to the black owned hospital. Is That's when did Dr. Louis Wright. He's from Georgia. Dr. Louis Wright from LaGrange, Georgia. He's actually, think about that. He's a slave. He's a slave, son of a slave master, and a son of a slave owner's son, slave master's slave son got together with the Allah Pragada. He put them together. They did a runaway. They did a clinical trials in Harlem Hospital. It is a runaway hit. It was one of the first broad spectrum antibiotic. It really, really took off big way. It is a well endorsed. It was a huge success. That's called aureomycin. Aureomycin was the syphilis, is all the sexually transmitted disease, all pneumonia, all these things. They were really curing like unbelievable amounts that they're doing in a amazing job. So then the FDA approved already that it was just is becoming a commercial. Literally, labs became very popular because of the Dr. Yellapagada. One man, it's a one mission. He put together southern slave owner's son, slave's master's son. You put them together. You put this clinical trial as an amazing, in my view. It's a brilliant idea. That's how you put together. Then the automation is one of the biggest success of the story of the Lederly Labs. And then, unfortunately, he he deserves 4 Nobel Prizes, no question. Everybody, even, is a trailblazer. He deserves all 4 Nobel Prizes from any standard, from any point of view. It's agreed by everybody. All of them said that he deserved 4 prizes, not even none. He got none. He was discriminated quite a bit. He was that unfortunate situation there. So he was Dr. Yellapagada Subbarao in 1948, same year that the Mahatma Gandhi died. We had a 1947 August 15th. We got the independence. 1948, 1 year after that, Dr. Yellapagada Subbarao died in Pearl River, New York, in the sleep with a heart attack. I'm not sure. I always worry about this pharmaceutical. No, no, I'm not saying anything else. But he died heart attack at the time. He died in 1948, the same year as Mahatma Gandhi died. So what is the what is the New York Tribune said about him? The New York Tribune said that about him, one of the most eminent medical minds of the century. Think about that. What they said during the time, they gave a foreigner, a dark looking foreigner, giving that kind of thing. One of the most eminent medical minds of the century. That's New York Herald Tribune said that. Jewish advocates said that because he lived longer. Because of childhood leukemia, because he lived longer. That's what the Jewish advocate. He during the time. It's not a lot of when there's no internet, nothing, right? So he was not well known. So actually, his plaque was is in the is actually it is he was well respected during the time, and he got the postage stamp from India. Eventually, he was well received, well recognized, but people don't know still. The Pfizer bought the Lederly Labs. They provided a plaque there that on his name in the Pfizer campus. You see his name. Even the Nobel Prize committee, he was nominated for the Nobel Prize, but his name was always mentioned. That's one of the uh, black mark on the Nobel Committee, not giving a prize to this extraordinary trailblazer of the century. He's a truly eminent minds of the century. He gave, I left us a lot of discoveries he did. The other ones he did ATPs and oh my God, other medicines. There are some of them. So actually, there was a one fungi they mentioned is still named after him, and people is unknown famous man. I would call him unknown famous man. These are the two people. They're all from the same town, and these are the two heroes of mine. My father, that they dedicated their lives to discover. They didn't care about all the accolades and all the prizes. They really worked hard. The nobility of these people working, it gives us pleasure. It's not, we come and go. I die, 100 years from now, that, anybody that will be alive. Nobody, 100 years from now, you will know nobody that you know of live. But these people who, what their legacy they left us, that kept on moving for us, forwarding our civilization. We have to hats off them. The greatest people on the planet. These are the dedicated physician. Two definition of physicians. These are all two. One is great, my father, and is not as famous as other gentlemen, other Subbarao. They have the same name, Dr. Yellapegada Subbarao, Dr. Annamrao Subbarao. Thank you all for watching, and let me bring Usha back to the stage. Hey, Usha.
Hey,
So you learned something about you had a journey like yours, almost, right, Dr. Yellapegada Subbarao?
oh, no, yeah, his journey is very successful and very inspiring, I think.
Yeah, it is inspiring.
Very inspiring.
A lot of times I say that a lot of people, let me, um, we are we don't pay attention to. We India also did not know a lot of people about him. Even people in the industry don't know about him much about it. So I was actually I found him on one of the days that in the New Jersey New Journal of New England of Journal of Medicine, JAMA publication. His name was mentioned. After that I did research. I was shocked how much he knows, what he knows. Make it amazing you know
Yeah,
yeah
amazing. Yeah, he
that's
did
yeah
many.
we
Mhm.
need more people like that nowadays. We need it badly. So you have a similar background a little bit. So tell me, what is your venture now, Surasa? What does that mean, your new venture Surasa means?
Surasa actually means holy basil in Sanskrit. You know, the herb holy basil, tulsi.
What is that, tulsi? Oh, okay.
Tulsi. So we wanted to name our company after one of the most critical herbs in Ayurveda. And Tulsi was something that we really wanted to go after because of its antioxidants. It is loaded with eugenol. It is an herb that is good for skin internally and externally as well. And
So
we
what do you call in English, tulsi, Surasa?
so Tulsi in English is actually osmum, right, or holy basil. But
Oh,
in Sanskrit,
okay.
it is has many names. Tulsi, for example, but
It's
is
not
also
exactly basil, right? It's a very different smell to it than a basil, right?
yeah,
Is it?
it's very different from than basil, but the same family. Uh, and but it's also very medicinal, right?
My my mother used to pray Tulsi, the tree. That's one of the things that Tulsi not only that protects you from the spirits and the air, they purifies the air around us, and then also keeps the snakes around, and not, snakes don't like the Tulsi smell. So they used to
Okay.
tell me all those things. So I remember my mother and praying the Tulsi, and every household has a Tulsi tree.
Yes, that's exactly. So it's so integral to health and wellness, right? And we drink
Interesting.
tulsi tea, tulsi chai. If you have a cold, tulsi can be very good for digestive issues. It's loaded with antioxidants. It's great for many skin conditions. Like if you blend the leaves, you can use it for acne and a lot of things. So it's a great herb for internal and external treatments. It's used all over the I mean, not only India, but also other parts of Asia as well. And I have seen papers and publications on Tulsi for cancer.
The,
So, so we thought this is a very good herb, and we wanted to name our company after that.
Usha, can you type what is your web address? What is the website?
It's called surasa.com.
Yes, just a minute. Let me. I told, yeah, www dot surasa.com, right?
Yeah, Surrasa. The two R's.
Surr. Su ASA. Surasa, right? Surrasa.
Yes, Surrasa.
Okay. I put that is a correct, right?
Yes, yeah. Thank you. That's the
Yeah.
correct address.
Uh,
Yes.
Surasa.com. So they can reach you. Then what is your email address? They can go to the website and they can find you. They can
Yeah,
find.
yeah. They can find all the information, our address, our location, and how to contact us. Everything is on our
We are based
website.
in San Jose. People, in that area, they can come and visit you in San Jose or in the Bay Area. People can come down there, right? I came to your
Yes.
store. It is a beautiful place. You arranged it very well, actually. That was very interesting.
Thank you for coming. Yeah, so we do online as well. So our goal is basically to be online company. So we do online sales, but also from the practitioner point of view. Also, there are lots of people who want to get um, come to me using online. Like so, it's open to both online and in person as well.
That's good, so they can come down and visit you. They can give consultations online and everything. So much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on that one. You educated us about Ayurveda a little bit. Even though I grew up around that, I never paid attention to it. My father was doing a little bit of. My father was the allopathic, is practicing English medicine, but he was also doing a little bit of Ayurveda. So I did not know much about it. So thank you for educating us and everybody around, all the audience. Thank you so much thank you for coming on this holiday season.
No, thank you for welcoming. And winter, it's Kapha and Vata season. So just take care of yourself and try to stay warm and eat cooked food and take care of yourself. Thank you
That
for
is a that is a Usha Nagavarapu from Surrasa.com. Thank you all. Good night.
good
And
night. Thank you.
We are retelling their stories through our patented designs that can be worn on scrubs, t-shirts, printed on conference bags, and endless other promotional materials. Daily Wear for Medicine is the first ever of its kind to create curiosity in medicine through visual art. We at MedBricks are celebrating unsung heroes of the past who made enormous contributions to the field of medicine through our unique campaign called Daily Wear for Medicine. You can wear it, carry it, and give it.